Hello, hello, back again. Day drinking with David. It's a bit of an odd time of day for us. I know I'm a little late, got a little bogged down, so we've made a bit of an audible here. I'm not sure the same sort of crowds will show up, but who cares? Back from Kentucky, that was pretty cool. You know, got a new sort of understanding of how complicated it is to do business right now. Just in terms of getting things bottled, and it's quite busy. Kentucky is very much, open for business. And oh yeah, Dapper David, sorry, here's a little while. And so, yeah, it was pretty wild. We visited pretty much everybody. The big exciting surprise, I think, in a lot of ways for me was visiting MGP, which is such a treasure. People don't. It's difficult to appreciate the scale of that property, and such an incredible operation there. So I've got some good pictures. They basically let me take pictures of everything but the stills. The stills are, it's a very high volume facility, and they won't tell us what exactly that means, but they are very busy, and they have about 6.5. I don't know how you do it. But between 6 and 7 columns devoted to whiskey, and another 6 or 7 devoted to other things, grain neutral spirit, gin, what have you. 2 great big doublers. So it's a very complicated operation, and it's very old. Obviously, it's been there for a long time. So I met with Ian, the master distiller, young guy, super on the ball, very, very knowledgeable guy. He is, in a constant struggle with the equipment, trying to keep it moving, get ahead of things. It's a pretty exciting place. We're excited primarily to be doing barrel picks from there, which we've got a few on the way. And hopefully next time we're there, we'll actually be able to pick there. We weren't able to do that this time, but soon. And that was fun. Northern Kentucky was great. New Riff's, of course, amazing. I was sad I couldn't do more of this sort of thing there, pulling out the phone and posting up the Instagram in the middle of a distillery tour. I don't know. I felt like a tourist, so I couldn't really bring myself to do it. Not to mention, it's difficult to get the inside track when you've got the world watching. So we're definitely trying to figure out a way to bring those experiences to the people, but haven't really quite figured it out. I mean, I have to say, I just didn't feel right. So not able to figure it out this time. But after Cincy, which is a cool town, Cincinnati's happening. Covington, lots going on there. Fun people, great restaurants, good vibes all around. And thanks Bob. Thanks for coming to watch, and good to be back. I had a great time there in Cincinnati, believe it or not. Super underrated place. And then we went south, Louisville. Met up with Andrew in Louisville. We did our full tour basically. So pretty much hit everything. Tráfico no es bueno. The Tráfico is bad today in LA. And that was, we started at Preservation, which is a little distillery in Bardstown. Pretty interesting operation, pot distillery. They've got crazy old stocks that are in tank. Obviously some wild stuff, to say the least. And then they're distilling stuff. We didn't taste any. This is a peated bourbon, which is very unusual. A lot of experimentation, a lot of wild stuff. but it's very small scale. And then onward to, after that, we went to, gosh, where did we go? Knob Creek, the Lux Row first. Lux Row, beautiful facility. Pretty small, really, in the grand scheme of things, but a really lovely facility. Picked out 8 barrels there. That was fun. Ezra and Rebel, and two of their own distillates, because all the old stuff is from their neighbors down the hill. So that was interesting. Very excited to see that. Otherwise, oh gosh, you know what? I'm totally going to lose. As soon as someone calls me, I know it. I'm going to lose the audio. Can't wait for that. So, gosh, I should probably... I think we're back. Can you hear me? Audio out, of course, Chuck. It never works. Instagram's killing me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Money's back. We're back. We're back. Any cast strength Remus? Yes, we have got cast strength Remus. We've got cast strength Rossville. That is, I think, the most underappreciated brand coming out of MGP right now. Rossville Union. And of course, that is not called MGP anymore. It's Ross and Squibb Distillery, which I should get used to saying, but it's a little bit of a tongue twister. And Ross and Squibb was pretty incredible. So yeah, then we went south. We did Lux Row. We did Knob Creek, which is a dream. Got to go to the top of the warehouse at Knob Creek, which was really fun. And the following day was Makers, the new stave at Makers. Makers is like a luxury resort compared to the other guys. They have really dialed it in. They built this incredible tasting room over the lake, the famous Makers Lake, which is, of course, man-made, because apparently, found this out, there are no natural lakes in Kentucky. All man-made. Any luck? 7 to 14-year-old? No, nothing that old. How about New Riff bundle discount? I don't know about that. And they built this $5 million tasting room over the lake. It was gorgeous. Andrew was very upset that they didn't have fishing rods. But, it's so plush and, you want to sleep over, that type of thing. So we tried out the new stave, Mondiant, named for the French patisserie, or that's the wrong word, French dessert. And subsequent to Makers, we went off to the old Heaven Hill, Bardstown. We started at Bardstown, which was interesting. Nothing to buy there right now, but they've got a pretty cool operation. Finally got to have lunch there. That was fab. Very, very good restaurant there. Kurtz's was sold, the old Bardstown restaurant staple, where I had my second hot brown, and that is being converted into like a hipster hotel or motel or something like that, which is nuts. The locals are pissed, but whatever. Such is life, the future. And then off to Heaven Hill, where we tried 5 exceptional barrels of Elijah Craig. Only got to take 2 of them. Very, very cool stuff. We did get to will it. There was nothing on the table. Just went to say hi. That was fun. And then we did the other side of town. We went to good old Wild Turkey. That was magical. As always, they're still closed to the public. They're in the process of refurbing. We were able to pick 4 barrels, so there's a 5th that they owe us, so there's a 5th one. They only have 4 barrels available there, so we'll be getting samples for a 5th, but that's exciting. Really killer stuff. 1 barrel still from the old distillate, to 2011. The 20, it's sort of turn on the still is 2010 at the new facility, and it's 2012 when they're really starting to fill barrels that would become Wild Turkey. 2011, 12, but supposedly from the old facility. And then 3 from the new facility equally wonderful. All totally different. That's the fun thing about Wild Turkey. Everything is so unique. Each barrel is so special. And then Buffalo Trace. Buffalo Trace is a madhouse. It is so busy. Every morning there's a line out the door, whether it's Taylor or Weller. It's just Whiskey Disneyland. Good for them. And they've got a new barrel tasting room in Warehouse H, the Blanton's Warehouse, which is gorgeous, fun, perfect. You know, they really have it dialed in. Yeah, we did Angel's Envy, which was closed. I mean, they were not closed. They were not producing, which I thought was interesting. They're expanding. And finally, is there one more? That might have been it. Buffalo Trace. Yeah, that's the whole show. So big whirlwind tour. Lots of good times. Saw a lot of friends. Bought a lot of casks, and yeah, Kentucky was. I wish I could have taken you guys with me. It just wasn't working for me. So we did pop by the bar at Nulu. We didn't get into Nulu proper, but we did karaoke at the bar at Nulu, which was hilarious. Four Roses, it's a complicated story. We didn't go to Neat. Do a lot of, after hours drinking, just because we're so whirlwind. So it's not a lot of time to get out to the bourbon bars in Louisville. But we had some good dinners. Went to Hammerheads. That's my favorite. I talk about it all the time. I love Hammerheads. I'm obsessed. Had an incredible dinner there. We don't talk about Four Roses. Yeah. I want to talk about I want to sell Four Roses. I really do. But it's complicated. Didn't go to Neat. I know, everybody's upset. We were told to go to Neat. Apparently, there's a new hot place in Louisville. With something, it's like a club type of thing. I'll have to get you the name on that. We didn't get there either. We didn't go to any of the bar type things. We gotta do bourbon all day. We get home, we have a glass of wine, go to bed, get up early, do it again. So it's pretty low key in that respect. We did have a great dinner at Proof. That's always awesome. Proof on Main, Hammerheads. Yeah, really, really lovely city, Louisville. It's so weird, it's full of dichotomies. Went to Sergio's, of course. Go to Sergio's. Wild place. And, but you have these ancient ruins, in the middle of the city, just sitting there. It's such a funny place. I don't get how it works. Anyway, it is what it is. Louisville. So, because I've been drinking bourbon all week, I'm not going to drink bourbon right now. But what I am going to drink are bourbon adjacent, sort of, two things we've just gotten from, I guess they've been around for a little bit, but those have just shown up or come on our radar. I wish it were rum. Rum soon. Hamilton's in. The Hamiltons are here, and those will be here, I think, rum next week. Next week feels like a rum week, although I'm off again. Maybe we'll do Tuesday. Tuesday next week, guys. Tuesday for rum? What do you think? Everybody in? Great. It's spring break for my kids, so we're going up to Monterey. Isn't that exciting? Found North. So this is, they're trying to make Canadian whiskey a thing, which a lot of people have tried to make a thing, but it's not so easy. And these two guys are industry vets, young guys, know their stuff, old Canadian whiskeys. Those are pretty fun. And then Tuesday works for Brett. That's good news. The new Cavalons are here. Cavalon. All day long. Muscatel, sherry, ex-bourbon. We're going to taste those. That's it. Taking it easy today. Stop by slow on your way, man. Okay, great. My wife will love that. Very excited for that. So, yeah, Found North. It's a kind of a cool operation. They found these very, very old whiskeys distilled at, I imagine, various distilleries in Canada. The first one is labeled as a rye whiskey. They, of course, do the blending after aging. So this is a blend of a number of rye whiskeys aged in various casks, ex-tequila, ex-Speyside single malt scotch. So they're taking the real old stuff, the stuff that's not going to give you a ton of tannin. And then that's blended with some corn and malt whiskeys, which have more wood. So using other things. One element with Hungarian oak that's a little more prevalent. So it's an exercise in blending, but also some very old whiskeys. These are bottled at cask strength. Actually, yeah, it does say cask strength. No additives of any kind, no water, no coloring, what have you. This is batch 3, bottle number 901. And yeah, I thought they were pretty good, pretty darn good. I'm not a big Canadian whiskey guy. Mostly, it's kind of just a little too easy going for me. But there's some serious stuff going on here. And of course, there's some great Canadian whiskey. I'm not trying to hate the whole category. No question. But this really speaks to your more American whiskey drinker. You've been wearing jeans and jacket to drink Canadian whiskey. Oh yeah, the Canadian Tuxedo. You're right. I don't own that, but I'm getting close with the denim shirt here. Come on. Do you have batch 1 or 2 to compare alongside? No, they didn't sell K&L those batches. Another prominent retailer, I think, took most of that. Found North are a little more rich and standard flavor than J.P. Wiser's, which are a little weirder in my opinion, Forever Home Whiskey says. I would agree with that. I think these are obviously blended specifically for the bourbon and rye drinker, the American whiskey drinker. They're not inexpensive, but you're not finding 17, 18-year-old American whiskeys in this price point. And, man, they deliver a lot of the same things. So it's sort of like, it's not a one-to-one substitute, but it's very much in the same brand. On brand, as they say. Yeah. Wow. Lots of maple on the front palate of this guy. On the nose, baking spice, some kind of odd, tropical fruit, which is not totally typical. Kind of, again, maple, a little bit of molasses. Good sweetness despite not having new oak or a ton of new oak on there. Decent corn content here, 32%, so pretty close to a typical mash bill, although, of course, blended after. They're doing single grain distillations in a more or less similar fashion to like an MGP, but then filling them into used wood, then tempering with blended stocks, with more woody stuff. Lots of sweet, corny grain on the nose. Powerful spice. It feels old. It's not tannic. Definitely feels mature. This one's quite a bit lighter in color than the other one. Maybe it's just the labels, but it looks lighter in color to me. I don't know if you can perceive that. Oh, it's quite dark in here. My wife needs I'm stuck in the office because my wife is working downstairs. This is batch 4. Can't really see it. That's going to be just Canadian whiskey. They just list as cask strength whiskey. I guess they're avoiding the word Canadian smartly. It says origin Canada, but it's not Canadian whiskey, according to the label. Maturation finishing in Hungarian oak, something there. Maple is more expensive to make into barrels than white oak, also very leaky. No added, 62.4% alcohol. This has some very old whiskeys in it. I think there's a 25-year-old element, a 21-year-old element, a lot of old whiskey in these for the price. I mean, even the big guys are putting out some older things, your Canadian Club 43, but they don't really compare to these American whiskeys. This is starting to feel pretty bourbony, really. That's mostly corn, 80% corn, 19% rye, a little bit of barley. I'm not sure why they bother, but voila. Definitely much woodsier than the last one. Good thing you had them open already. The seal is a pain. I had no problem with number 3. Number 4 was easy to open. Number 3, I had to get the knife out. But you can't have pretty wax tops on your bottles and make it easy to open. That's unacceptable. It must require some serious work to get those open. What would the fun be? So big nose, much woodier, sweet oak, clove, cinnamon, molasses here. Lots of molasses nose on the nose. Darker. Yeah, big Chanteau nose. Try popping Couvreur. Yeah, you're going to make a mess no matter what you do. On the palate, it's not as sweet as bourbon. Definitely has some unusual wood flavors, some mintiness, some Christmas sort of spice, clovey bit. Great texture. I have a feeling this is going to open up with some air. These are fun whiskeys. They're fun whiskeys. They are not crazy expensive. They're old. They're cask strength. It's kind of a no-brainer. You want to try something new? Don't want to hunt bourbon? It's a good choice. These found North Post on the KS site earlier today. Still available. Thank you, Dan. Yes. For once, my timing is on. The KLWines, however, won't be posted until tomorrow, although you guys had plenty of opportunity to buy them because they've been on special order for many, many weeks. And incredibly, I still have some left over. I hit a little bit of the bourbon. The Moscatel, I'm surprised didn't sell out on an email because it's half off. Of course, when we have these deals, you have people who've been to Taiwan and like, oh yeah, you can get that for $80-$90 in Taipei or at the distillery, and then you got to go to Taipei. So this for $110 felt like a super duper deal. It's ex-bourbon, cask strength, single cask number 080825104. So that is distilled in 2008, bottled in 2016. This has been sitting in a warehouse for 6 years. It does come with a very attractive little Kabbalah glass for $110. How's that Sagamore 8-year that's coming soon every day, a few days ago? Oh, it was lovely. Yeah, 8-year-old MGP. Can't go wrong. It's always good. So the Kabbalah cask strength, of course, this is made very similarly to single malt Scotch. Exactly the same thing. This is backwards for you, but looks kind of cool. And comes in a big leather case. Gorgeous stuff. Ex-bourbon, first fill. Of course, they're tropically aged, so kind of hammering that malt with the heat and the humidity. Oh God, it smells awesome. Kabbalah is such a funny company because we really can't get it most of the time. We have no trouble selling it, and then all of a sudden, voila, here is one of their flagship products at a significant discount. So that's really particularly special. Did you say when those are arriving for pickup, and are any left? Chase, yes, they are. If you've ordered some already, you'll likely have it. San Francisco and Redwood City are probably a couple days behind. So we're hoping to have the inventory ready to roll tomorrow, maybe Saturday. And there's about 130 bottles of the bourbon left. So that'll come online. And another maybe 100 bottles of the Moscatel. Narby is a celebrity in our world. And I love when you watch them. But this ex-bourbon, it's very confusing because this is all single casks. They must be at different proofs. 54.8 on this one. The supplier listed it as at a certain proof. I'm not sure we actually have it listed at that proof. There must be multiple casks because, of course, we bought 100 cases, and there's no way a bourbon barrel would fill that amount. This is the Kavalan X bourbon that came out of the gift set. So there likely are multiple different barrels in that, although nobody was able to tell us exactly what was coming. I forget what I listed on the website. I wonder if it's the same as what we have here. I just pulled a bottle out of the box this morning. Let's see what I listed it at. Sorry, this is not the most attractive angle. Ex-bourbon listed at... Oh, I didn't list... That's probably smart. Okay, well, I didn't put a proof because it didn't make sense. Ex-bourbon and port casks are my favorite Kavalan releases. Interesting meat with whiskey. I'm for sure into the sherry stuff. My favorite is the Fino, but it's very expensive. I love the Oloroso. The Moscatel, this cask of Moscatel is better than the last one I had. I was really happy with it. The first one I had was a little bit more punchy and less robust. Andre, we are not bringing in any versions because they're just not available. I mean, there is a potential to do a PX cask. That's what we're working on next. The Moscatel was a bit of a better deal. So, while the Moscatel normally retails for $500-$600, we're able to sell for $300. The PX is closer to $350. Probably really worth it. But no Fino on offer. The Oloroso, we've already been through all those old casks that have been sitting there. This has been in the warehouse for several years. And I think the bourbon is totally undervalued. Even $150. Those are awesome whiskeys, but for $110, no question that this is top tier malt. So creamy, tons of vanilla. The nose is pretty complex. You have some hints of not peatiness. There's no smoke at all. But there's a subtle sort of earthy, mossy undertone, which is really, really interesting. And then big vanilla bean, like a toasted vanilla. Lots of fruit. Kind of baked apple and candied pear and a little citrus note. Seville orange peel. Delicious stuff. That loves a little water too, of course. Onwards and upwards. The Moscatel. This is well regarded, to say the least. It's a very fancy bottle. Gets its little King Car ribbon. That is cask number Moscatel 11-03-210-17A. Bottled in 2018. April 24th, 2018. And we love Kavalan. Thank you. Hodling is here. We love selling these. They're so fabulous. This is 7-year-old Moscatel. Think about that tropical aging warehouses, super fresh, super high quality sherry. Moscatel sherry is a specific type of sherry using the Moscatel grape. People know that word from Moscato. It's a similar grape, and then made in the sherry style. So you have already this pungent aromatic grape varietal, much more powerful than Palomino or the other grapes in terms of aromatics. PX also not as aromatic as Moscatel. So you start with that, and then you're aging it and concentrating it in barrel, and the result is a wine that looks about as dark as this. Oh, yeah, that sweet, raisiny, floral muscatel thing is there, but without being overly perfumed. Good earthiness behind that. Definitely has kind of a savory backbone in front of, with that bright kind of floral sweetness up front. Oh, goes down. That does, that sherry kind of gives it that little bit of scotchy sort of nuance that the bourbon feels a little less obviously scotch-like. But the muscatel, I mean, this is just bonkers. We're so happy to be selling this, and I can't believe we have any left. I sent a big email out, and we sold a bunch, but that's a super deal. So, ooh, that's hard to spit out. Yeah, that is better than the last cask I had of this. This is even better. These are always great. But yes, Vini Vidi Vici BJ, it was, there is some held back. I have about 130 bottles of the bourbon. It should be loaded up in the next day or so. And another 100 bottles of the Muscatel. So both of those will be available again. Sorry, they are not quite ready yet. But highly recommend those. And that's all I got today, guys. I don't know. You want me to, talk more, or you want to ask questions? Is that one on the site? No, these are the Cognacs will be back up shortly. So it's a bit of a preview. I thought, hey, they're here. They're going to sell as soon as people see them live in the shop. They sell. So I thought we'd get ahead of it. I wonder, there haven't been any really interesting rare things to show up for a giveaway today. I guess you guys, I did give away 6 Michter's barrel proof rye last time, and that Mr. Luis Ochoa and a couple of other winners, Timothy, and really glad that they went to good homes. I don't know if there's anything else fun. I don't know. You guys want a giveaway today? I have to look it up, see what we got. Hasn't been really any new arrivals per se. Can we find something that's worth our time? I don't know. How about Blue Spot? You guys want Blue Spot? Nobody cares about that stuff anymore. Blue Spot for $100. That's a deal. Oh gosh, my computer is frozen. I need a new computer, guys. Sure, Blue Spot is fun forever. All right, I got 3 bottles of Blue Spot for you guys. The big question is, tell me, let's see. Yes, did old Casey picks? No, 9-10-year-old for the Knob Creek picks, guys. Nothing old anymore. Rum next week. Sorry, I'm going back through the list. I've missed a bunch of questions here. It wouldn't be a real live without asking about Stag Junior pick timing. Yes, Money. It is coming. Apparently being bottled shortly. So 6 to 8 weeks. That's what we've been saying for 6 to 8 weeks about. Let's see. Should we ask a question about the spots? If you want a blue spot, I've got three for sale. We're going to say, tell me the name of the person who, the name of the original company, owners of, it's so easy. That's too easy. Come on. Well, whatever. The owners of Green Spot, pre-Pernod. Give me their name. Easy. A famous name. A fine name. Are the Kilchoman Madeira and 100% Isla still on the boat? I think they're available. So maybe next week for those. How many barrels you pick on this trip? 8, 6, 5, 19 plus 2, 21, 25? That's pretty close. 25. Disco 7 coming soon. Yes, Bardstown has a freaking Steve Nally 50th anniversary bottling that I tasted, which apparently is distillery only. That's fabulous. So highly recommend that. If you get out to Bardstown, it's very expensive. It's like $500, but whatever. Christopher's buying 25 bottles. Maybe you don't need all of the Lux Rose, but grab a couple. There are two old Ezra's or Ezra Brooks cast strength that are distilled at Lux Row, which is exciting. They're very, very good, which is great news because, anytime you have a new distillery, you're not sure. And they're such a funny company because they sell it, the single barrels all say cask strength across the front. But what they're talking about is they're kind of like full proof for Buffalo Trace. So it's a bit unusual, but we're still excited to sell those. The whiskeys are fabulous, and none of them are super, so we're not adding a bunch of water, but they aren't proper barrel strength, which is a bummer. The MGP picks, or the Ross and Squibb picks, are barrel strength. Lower proof, they have concrete warehouses, high humidity up there in northern or southern Indiana, and that works by sort of, they're not humidified, they're not heated, the warehouses, so that tends to lower the proof. It's very consistent warehousing in MGP, not unlike Four Roses, although not single level. So there's some similarities there. Really, really consistent across the various tiers. So the email for the contest, Bob, go ahead and email me at davidgirard, Girard, at KLWines.com. Let me know who started the Green Spot or the Spot whiskey brand before Pernod took over. Did you ever taste the rare character Dickel rye on here? I tried some Dickel distilled rye recently, and it's wild stuff. I don't know if I opened that here. Maybe we should. I have 2 new barrels of rare character coming. Very unusual stuff. Certainly not like any other rye out there. Any older new riff stuff? No, not yet. We're working on it. How are the 15 picks? I haven't had the ones that are up north. I've got barrel entry is 120 for the old Ezra's Big Shanto. I'm not sure what I think the Rebels are 110. SoCal Bourbon Finds notes that the rare character rye is delicious. Dallas, not Texas. I can't tell if you disagree. They're definitely unusual. What's the question for the giveaway? The founders of the Green Spot brand. That's easy. David Girard, KLWines.com. Please, in the subject line, just put day drinking with David. That's all. Just so I know it's that. And I can put you in the right folder when it comes in. If you have other questions or concerns, put it on a separate email. Otherwise, I'm just going to miss it. Rare character Dama Pick is one of the best ryes I've ever had. Also Dickel, I believe. Go Pablo. Yeah, well, those are his homies. So home court advantage there at Dama, no doubt. And I don't blame him. You got to pick the right stuff for your boys. I think I really like our picks. They're pretty wild and definitely different. I thought our bourbon picks were particularly special. You had a Bone Snapper pick of Dickel rye? That's the first I've seen of that. That's pretty exciting. They make you sign an NDA at MGP or any of the other distilleries? No. Nope. No NDA. They just, certain things they couldn't answer. Like MGP or Ross and Squibb won't tell us how much whiskey they make. They certainly won't tell us who they make it for. But you can kind of figure it out, It's pretty, you have to put the name of the state of distillation on there. So there you go. It was an R bourbon trick. Yeah. Oh yeah. Reddit bourbon. Does that take? I think it's pretty good access. Do you know the K&L Riff pick proof was? I don't. Email me. I'll get it for you. How is the Eagle Rare pick that's dropping soon? Stellar Bourbon, total mistake. Not actually the pick. That is my bad. I put the wrong product in. It is not the pick. But we did pick another Eagle Rare, which is lovely. Not quite as good as the one I picked last year, which is coming still. Are the Wild Turkey picks all Russells? Yes. Yeah. I think we're going to stick with Russells for all 4 picks. They're just so different from each other. Last year, the 3 I was supposed to get, we had 2 that were very similar. Same rick house, same warehouse. We didn't get any Camp Nelson, unfortunately, guys. So don't freak out about that. But I had 3 barrels from Wild Turkey that ended up not getting sent to us for whatever reason, some sort of snafu. And we had 2 that were very, very similar, and I thought, okay, that's a fun opportunity to cut one to proof and do the Kentucky Spirit. But in general, the Russells, it's a better product. It's just higher proof. It's not a better product, but higher proof. People can cut it at home. We don't need to ship water around the country. I wish people would sell their White Dog more often. Sergio, why? Just to taste it? It's not very, I don't find it very delicious, but it is fun to taste. I'll give you that. Heaven Hill did for a while, the Tri-Box stuff and that Buffalo Trace. They used to give you both, mash bills. Now it's just number 1. You teased a possible 12th-ish year Russells. Any luck on older offerings? Yes, we have an 11.5-year-old coming. So that is depends on when they bottle it. Sometimes they're quite slow, so it could be upwards of 12. Wish they wouldn't cut the RR to 55, but it's still great stuff. Yeah, and most of those are filled pretty low as well. So and Eddie in particular, I know likes the middle warehouse stuff. So you're not seeing like 128 proof. They go into the barrel 110. So, they're cutting them a little, but not a ton. But yeah, I agree. Of course, I'd love to see cast strength. Rare breed single barrels would be ideal. Let's be honest. But that's not how the world works. So we're trying our best to get what we need. So yeah, that's all I got, guys. We've got some Blue Spot for you. A little bit of Found North Canadian whiskey. Pretty good stuff, man. These Coblons are nuts. Keep an eye out for that. Will K&L ever take on bottling its own whiskey under an independent K&L label? We do some of that in Scotland. Of course, the American laws prohibit us from actually owning production. There you go. Aussie actor knows. Fault Line. Hell yeah. Yeah. We've done Fault Line. We used to do a Fault Line bourbon, if you recall, with our dear friends at Smooth Ambler. That was probably one of my favorite projects I ever did. Badass label. My neighbor, Kenny Knock, designed a label. Freaking genius, this guy. And Ken Knock, he's a real winner. Check him out, Ken Knock AV. He's freaking on SoundCloud. He designed that label. It was a blend of 7-year-old high rye MGP and 10-year-old low rye on the shelf for $39.99. We sold about 4,000 bottles of that stuff. 3 batches. Magic. Bomb stuff. We did a Fault Line with St. George, bourbon, absinthe, and gin. We did several gins with them under Fault Line. And, of course, we do several single malts. It's been a long time since that's been a thing. The good old days. When we started, people were like, you want to do what? Sure, whatever. Who cares? Nobody wants this stuff. That's changed a lot. What was the trivia question for Blue Spot? Oh, don't worry about it, man. Who started the Green Spot brand? That's all. Easy. House, K&L, Century City looking, moving south, I think. SoCal Bourbon Finds. That's a new one. Century City store update. I don't know where Century City came from. It's all Brian. Brian did that. Pat yourself on the back, Brian. That's not real. But Century City's so hard to get to. It's like, gosh, how do you even get there? I'd rather be in Culver City. Kalila, you did with $7,000. Yeah, Andre remembers. We've had a lot of Fault Lines over the years. Go to the website, hit Mo Isaacaroff, we're not going to do a live chat, unfortunately. Sorry about that, but I do appreciate you coming by. Go to the website, type fault line, hit out of stock, and you can see pretty much all our fault lines. You know, lots of different stuff, lots of stuff. West LA peeps drive far to Hollywood, that's right. We will not abound in the east side, but the west side does deserve... No, that's not happening. No, I prefer that to... I prefer that to Century City. In any case, yeah, we'll definitely want to be on the west side. So, oh god, the Muscatel is nuts. High five, Muscatel. Those Smooth Amblers were epic. I do have a new Smooth Ambler coming, a 6.5-year-old. That's exciting. New rumor. Thank you, SoCal Bourbon Finds. Working on it. Working on the rumors. No new tequila. Tequila's... I can't even get the tequila I want, so I've got to fill the tequila shelf is barren. It's a disaster. No Fortaleza, no Cascawin, no Arete, no Tapatio. Well, now we have Tapatio back again, but gosh, it's a disaster. The question is, when is the next coming? I don't know, Andre. Hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. Working on it. Old Scout 6.5. Yeah, that's happening. That is happening. SW, I don't know your bourbon lingo. UCUF, someone please explain. Cascawin Extra Añejo, unlikely, but we'll do our best. I'll buy everything. We do occasionally get Oronson, Lebaron, Dallas, not Texas, and there is a new batch. I've ordered some of the 20-year. There's a single barrel, I think 27-year. It's all Oronson, and I forget which else there is, the 2001 or something like that. Ooh, the second request for Disco 7. Encantada picks. Yes, I'm trying to pick one. Working on the price. Would you pay $250 a bottle for a new domain that nobody's tried yet? Even if it's very good? Maybe. I wonder, would I? I'm not sure. Smoke Wagon Uncut. Oh, thank you. I'm so sorry. Yeah, nothing, no movement on Smoke Wagon. Don Mateo Pachuga. I can get the regular Pachuga. I'm certain, that my batch of Pachuga is long gone. That was a very, very difficult thing to sell for some reason. Are we still waiting on any of last year's bourbon rye picks other than BT stuff? Yeah, we have 2 Russell's barrels that are still not here, so that's coming. The domain is killer with lots of oak and richness. It is medium oak. We're talking Encantada. Medium plus oak with lots of juicy fruit. So maybe, I don't know. It's not super oaky. Hesitancy. Any fun Daniel Boujou cognac out there? I have ordered some Boujou. Nothing unique or single barrel, just like the old school stuff. Prices were surprisingly in line with what they had been before. Missed out on Pachuga tasting kit. Oh, I have asked for more of that from the Malate guys. Hopefully that's coming. I'm not sure. Need oak bomb. Okay, well, I'll consider that. Any update on Las Graves? Yeah, I think it got picked up. So, between 8 weeks and 28 weeks. Who knows? Any PM Spirits labeled tequila coming through? I haven't seen anything. Oh, what an interesting question. SK Fuwada asked, what is Muay Thai like? I presume you mean, what is Baijiu like? It depends. There are a lot of different styles, high, low. The Muay Thai is a high aroma. It's a dry fermented sorghum spirit, and it's pretty dang funky. It has a lot of kind of plastery, funky, perfumey flavors to it. Particularly good, I think, with the right food. Get some Szechuan peppercorns in, and you're like starting to get why that works. Highly recommend. Vini Vidi Vici Grand Prix 75 or Puchigu 82. 75 is going to be softer, lower proof, obviously older. The 82 is much more intensity, much more juiciness, much more fruit, much more power. So it really depends on what you're looking for. A lot of the old timers are going to like, the old school Armagnac guys are going to prefer the 75. And if you're sort of more, a bourbony guy, although maybe the 84 was more bourbony-ish, but more oak, more intensity, then jump on the Pouche Gou. Domaine is different profile post 2000. They switch for grape varietals. Which one are we talking about? Vic? Las Gras? I guess so. I'm not sure. Any Uncantata on the horizon? We already discussed that. God, you guys have a lot to talk about today. Sambre called high proof. Loving Sambre. Me too. Not available. Have you ever tasted Big Chateau? Finds Boujou a bit farty. Okay, well, yeah, some might say. Depends on what you've been eating. Was in the shop tequila shelf was bare. Yes, I'm aware. I'm aware. There's more around the corner. We're gonna have to fill it up with mezcal. So it goes. Pizza Mason LA, welcome. We've kind of run out of things to talk about. The flavor of Boujou, the new Encantata. They were 98s. So what domain are you talking about, Vic? I must have missed your comment. Anyway, yeah, lots of interesting stuff. Are you able to get any new special finishes? Apple brandy, double oak, honey. We did get some double oak. I haven't seen the apple brandy or the honey. I'll check with the supplier. If you want to shoot me an email, Greg, David Girard at KLWines.com. We've just really missed you, David. Oh, thank you. There is so much to talk about. I really appreciate that. I've missed you too. Looking forward to those Elijah Craig barrel strength. They're so good. Man, I wish we could get more of that stuff. They're just really, really, really good at that prof. We wanted 3. There was one really killer cask that was short filled, and we had to pass on it because it was like 5 cases. It's stupid. We can't do that. So they were all great, though. Was the Redwood Empire Haystack 14 unfinished bottle Cano had a store pick? There were 2. There was one that was unfinished. It was a store pick. And then we had the Chardonnay pick, which was picked by the Black Bourbon Society, which was very good as well. Any news on Tennessee barrels this year? Jack Rye pick looking like a possibility. Probably not, Brett. I don't know. I kind of teased that because someone over there had teased it, but I probably shouldn't have done that publicly. That was a big mistake because it's almost certainly not happening. Saw you guys started to get Nelson's Greenbrier. Hadn't in a while, but I wasn't a fan. All right, Dallas. I guess that's on the internet forever now. When it came out, it has gotten better. I haven't had it in a while. Great bottles, though. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Sad that apparently Belle Meade is kind of going away. It's a Greenbrier product. To each their own. Tennessee, a lot of Tennessee whiskey out there these days. Just picked out 3 more Dickles, 15-year-old, over 100 proofers. Those are delish. $55. Hard to argue with. And, yeah, that's it. That's it. Well, it's already 4 o'clock, guys. We got another question. How can we keep J.J. Bowman on the shelf? I have no idea. They apparently make no whiskey there. I was bugging the guys at Buffalo Trace about it. They kind of indicated there might be a potential for single barrel picks in the future. Barton is off limits right now. Yeah, they had a big shakeup at Barton. Everything has changed at Barton. And you can't go in there right now. Yeah, they're closing the public, so that included me, apparently. We do have Barton picks coming, although way less than we did last year. Their master distillers moved on. There's new people there. It's a big shakeup at Barton. It's pretty interesting. Not sure the politics behind that. That's some real good, juicy bourbon gossip. Thanks for bringing that up. Foodie Versal. Some real nice bourbon gossip there. Speaking of Tennessee, any word on Chattanooga whiskey coming to California? No, I haven't seen that yet. Nashville. Got that. Did you make a stop to Bullet? No, they haven't offered us single barrels. I don't know if we might have some Bullet up north. I don't know if we're stocking it. No, we didn't get to Bullet, although we drove by in between Buffalo Trace and Louisville. We took the back roads. Danny Kahn is not gone. He's just not the master distiller. He's kind of moved up, according to our friends at Buffalo Trace. So I think there's another person in charge. What do you think happened to the Hamden Golden Devil Diamond H not selling as well? I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a great price now. It should sell. I'm surprised. I think we probably just did a little too much Hamden, I guess. The 12 and the 27 killed. We have another barrel of 27 coming in full-size bottles this time. It will be very expensive, but couldn't say no to that. I'm not sure why the 19 didn't click. It's very, very good. Needs a bit of water, but it's really, really quite delicious if you're into that sort of thing. We have that rare Cane Trelawney 2001, similar stocks. It's a nice barrel as well. It's not as hot. Maybe they cut it a little bit, but that might be more approachable for most people. Yeah, those are good. Those are good rums. It's hard. Rum's suddenly hard to get. I have Colors of Rum coming. That's a weird stuff. That's some weird stuff. They've just offered us a second round, which includes some very, very old Guyanese rum, and more iFlute and stuff like that from the late 80s. Which are expensive, but some old Hamdens as well. 92s, I think some 92s. So similar to what we've had. Those should be fun and, of course, very expensive. What marks are the 27? I think it's I think the 27 will be 28 now. Is C Diamond H? I'll have to double check. Shoot me an email. It's either Diamond H or C Diamond H. They're not really sold with the marks, but that's sort of their best guess. They give us an ester range based on the blender's mark that they use, which is not the same as the distillery mark. Of course, we can't use the Hamden name any longer. Can't get any Hamden. There's no Hamden. I mean, we get the younger, but no estate. No estate Hamden. It's a real bummer. Nothing from Valier right now. I don't know what's going on. They're releasing stuff everywhere else but here. So that's a bummer. So working on that. And yeah. Adam's here. Wow. You missed the show. Adam. I'm about to sign off. But thanks for coming through, guys. See you Tuesday next week. I'm going to come on Tuesday. Hopefully we'll have, what do you want to try? The rums. Hamilton rum. Maybe we'll some other stuff. It'll be Rum Day. Rum Tuesday. Very, very excited for that. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Be well.